Welcome to Storytime Sunday. Today we will be reading from Suitable for the Wilds, Letters from Northern Alberta 1929 to 1931 by Mary Percy Jackson, edited by Janice Dickin. Turning to page number 112, this is the 1st of November 1929. My dear Lena, oh, you'd be tickled if you could see me trying to keep house in my spare time. Canada is a funny country to keep house in, and up here in the wilds, you can't get half the things you need when you need them. You have to buy vast quantities of everything. I buy 50 pounds of flour, a side of bacon, 30 pounds of sugar, and a box, 40 pounds, of apples at a time. And I've booked my winter supply of beef, the hind leg of an animal that's running around the prairie at present, but will be killed as soon as it's cold enough to freeze the meat. Can't you just see me tackling 100 pounds of beef? When I get it, I shall just hang it on a nail outside the house. It will get frozen hard and keep all the winter. As a matter of fact, I shall have to get it sliced down to the bones soon after I get it, because meat freezes so hard in the winter that you can't cut it. You have to chop it with an axe. And now I've got a cellar. I'm getting 3 sacks of potatoes, a sack of carrots, and a sack of turnips. Oh, and a sack of onions. And I hope that will do me for the winter. I still buy things in smaller quantities than most people. I haven't got used to the big quantities yet. Up here, lots of people buy their whole year's groceries at once. They call it grubstake. It took me weeks to discover what they meant by grubstake, but the reason they do it is this. Trappers earn quite a lot of money during the winter. When they sell their furs in spring, they get $1,000 or more. But after, they don't get any more money all the year. So, while they've got the money, they buy their grubstake. Then, whatever happens, they won't starve even if they've spent all their money before they've earned any more. Lots of farmers do the same. After threshing, when they've sold their grain, they get some money, but now they won't get any more for a year, so they get in huge stocks. But wouldn't the grocer be surprised if you went in and bought a 5-pound tin of baking powder? I've not had much time for cooking lately. I've been out all the day and only home for supper, bed, and breakfast, but I'm gaining weight all the time. Oh, you might tell Daddy I eat a vast plate of porridge for breakfast every morning, will you? I know he'll feel more satisfied if he knows. I also eat bacon, 2 eggs, fried potatoes, stewed fruit, bread and butter, and honey for breakfast most mornings too. I always find I always cook twice as many potatoes as I need so that I can have them fried the next day. I'm going to send this letter by airmail and post another one to Mother and Daddy by ordinary mail at the same time. Let me know how much time it saves. 2nd of November, 1929. It's rather late, 10:30 p.m., so this will only be a short letter. I meant to write a really long one tonight. Finished supper at 7:30 p.m., and it was just starting to clear up when 2 men arrived, and they've only just gone. They were more people of importance, inspecting the district and including me in the sights. I do get a lot of them, and they all ask the same questions. How do I like Canada? Is this going to be my first winter? Don't I get lonesome? Am I not afraid of living by myself so far from anyone? Etc., etc. I'm glad these arrived after dark and couldn't take any photos of me. Mr. Wilson, the mayor of Peace River, called me one morning just when I was busy cleaning up and took me outside to have my photo taken with the mayor to send home. I've got the print. We shall see it in due course. I look even more dirty and untidy than I felt. I should have left this letter till tomorrow, but there's a committee meeting here in the afternoon, which will take up some time. Did I ever tell you about the committee of 4 bachelors who look after me? They're priceless. I've put the fear of the Lord upon them, told them that if ever my water barrel is empty or my wood unsplit, I shall quit work and go for a holiday. They do amuse me. They're all different nationalities. There's old Bill Tyson, the village blacksmith. He's a Yankee, age 60. Then there's Bill Asmussen. He's a Canadian, but his parents were Danish, I think. He is young and good-looking and a magnificent horseman. And Charles Plavin, he's an old Russian who has lived in Germany and the States, and who is one of the most interesting men in the district. And the 4th one is Tellef Lien, a Norwegian, age 36. He's going to teach me to ski this winter if we can find a suitable slope. They all talk English, but quite differently. And old Plavin gets awfully excited and jumps about. The others hate him. I thought there was going to be bloodshed last time that they met. Well, it's not winter yet. The Chinook has been blowing steadily ever since that big rain till today. But today the wind has gone around to northwest and the thermometer is dropping fast, so we may be going to get snow. The northern lights tonight are more wonderful than ever I've seen them. They spread across the whole sky like a great bunch of streamers starting in the northeast and waving about in all directions. I can see them from every window. Well, I'll write again soon. 11th of November, 1929. Your letters of October 13th and 21st arrived last Friday. Dudley seems to be a very good place for mailing letters, better than anywhere except Manchester and London. The letter from Weston should have arrived a week before, but didn't. I'm always awfully glad to get your letters and know you are so well. I'm just waiting for the kettle to boil so I can wash up my supper things and get to bed. It's 9:30 p.m. It's getting cold again tonight, and there's a gale coming up from the west. We've had another week of perfect weather. Cold at night, down to 10 or 15, but sunny and warm in the day. You can't think how weird it feels at night living all by myself in this little house. I've got the whole valley to myself. There's not a light to be seen. All around are old, burnt-off tree trunks, very white in the moonlight, and the spruce trees are intensely black against the sky and make a noise like the sea in this wind. The sound of the river has almost gone. Now it's freezing over. It feels as though Brutus and I are utterly isolated in the middle of this immense country. There's something overpowering about the size of Canada. I get the sensation sometimes that these people are tiny beings struggling with their backs to the wall against something enormous that is bound to beat them. And when I see acres of land cleared and broken, I feel a queer sort of triumph. And then, seeing the Battle River country from one of the surrounding hills, I realize what a little scratch on the surface it is. All around, shutting it in on every side, is bush and forest and muskeg, unmapped and untouched. There's something queer about Canada. I keep noticing it. Not only that it is big, but that you can't help feeling all the time how big it is. Even though you can't see more than a mile or so around, you still feel that it goes on for thousands of miles. I can't make out the cause of it. It seems to be something apart altogether from one's knowledge of geography. Do you get what I'm driving at, or does it sound merely mad? Kettle's boiling. I better wash up. That's all for today. See you next Sunday.